This is the distribution map of oil in the South China Sea. But why has China not exploited it for a long time? You know, Vietnam next to it has become an oil-rich country because it exploited the oil in the South China Sea. On the contrary, China now imports more than 500 million tons of crude oil every year. According to the data, there are 230 to 300 billion tons of oil. If the undiscovered data is included, the total may reach 50 billion tons. China has not carried out large-scale mining. There are 4 major problems. Firstly, there is a technical bottleneck. Most of the oil fields in the South China Sea are hidden in deep-sea restricted areas, with an average depth of 1,200 meters. The technical watershed for offshore oil extraction is between 300 and 500 meters. Beyond 500 meters, conventional operations are completely ineffective. Deep-sea drilling ships, underwater production systems, and other major equipment. The technical difficulty rises exponentially. For example, China's first deep-water 1-ton oil field, Kaping South Oil Field, is about 300 kilometers away from Shenzhen. The ultra-high-pressure drilling and other technologies are all world-class problems. Take the Gulf of Mexico as an example. It took humans 20 years to break through 500 meters. It took a full 20 years. China faces even deeper challenges. Secondly, oil in the South China Sea is not only a resource, but also a geopolitical focus. Vietnam, the Philippines, and other countries have been in the South China Sea for many years. Their oil fields are mostly located in shallow waters, with water depth less than 200 meters. Moreover, they have cooperated with foreign countries like the US, Japan, and UK, exchanging resources for technology. For example, among 57 oil and gas projects in Vietnam, 33 of which are wholly or by foreign companies. Thus, Vietnam has tied its interests with Western countries, indirectly balancing China. Then there is the cost issue. According to industry estimates, the cost of deep-sea oil exploitation in the South China Sea is more than $40 per barrel, while the theft price of Middle East crude oil is mostly less than $30 per barrel. Including Vietnam's deep-sea oil, costs $47 per barrel, when the global crude oil price was $10 to $20. Vietnam basically does not extract deep-sea oil, only when the global oil price rose above $45. Vietnam will consider exploiting it. It's like a hedge for Vietnam. Finally, it's about environmental protection. In 2010, the Gulf of Mexico had an underwater oil spill, which is still a major tragedy in deep-sea mining. 5 million barrels of crude oil leaked, and 10 billion people died. The ecological chain in the surrounding sea was completely collapsed. The US government spent tens of billions of dollars to clean up, but still couldn't reverse the situation. The ecosystem in the South China Sea is more fragile. Here is one of the most densely distributed coral reefs in the world. It is also the habitat of Chinese white dolphins, green turtles, and other endangered species. Once a similar accident occurs, oil spills will spread to the entire South China Sea. Fishery resources, coastal tourism, and even the ecological security of the Pearl River Delta will be threatened. So, China's Marine Environmental Protection Law, in its Chapter 5, for marine oil and gas engineering, has made a full process environmental protection plan. In addition, China also has deeper considerations. Because our per capita oil reserves are low, and oil exploitation is also a strategic reserve, China also buys oil from Middle East countries, and the Middle East buys Chinese goods in return. The bilateral trade is very stable. China has no need to break this trade balance. With the promotion of the dual carbon goal, and breakthroughs in deep-sea technology, I believe that China's offshore oil depot will eventually, at the right time, become an important part of China's energy map. After all, the real resource game is never about rushing to exploit, but in the process of accumulation and the strategic wisdom of trading time for space.